offensive coordinator Tommy Rees is going down a Kevin Stefanski lane and not even mentioning Shedeur name. There is a clear conspiracy going on in Cleveland with the coaching staff refusing to say Shedeur Sanders' name for whatever reason. Now, I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose, but it's looking real damn spooky. Now, offensive coordinator Tommy Rees pretty much took over the play calling abilities for the Jets game and probably for the foreseeable future. And it didn't look no different. You know, it looked very bad.
You are not ready for this chaos. The internet is absolutely melting down because people are saying Tommy Rees just unleashed a verbal meteor strike on Dillion Gabriel and tossed a spicy little omen toward Shedeur Sanders' future. I don't know what kind of cosmic energy Rees woke up with, but somebody might want to run a full system diagnostics check on him ASAP.
We wanted to focus on get Jerry going, get the ball to the perimeter. There's some other things that I would talk about. Don't want to schematically give anything away, but felt like there was progress there. Felt like our guys had a really good week of prep. Really disappointed in the result. Ultimately walking off of that field and how the game ends. And look, as a play caller, there's always things you want back. Felt like we put our guys in a position to have success throughout the game, and then when you do that and you don't have success, you always look to why and what you can do during the week to help your players have that success.
Picture this, you're just trying to enjoy a quiet football afternoon, totally unbothered, and out of nowhere Cleveland morphs into a full-on conspiracy thriller. Suddenly every coach in the building is acting like saying Shedeur might open a portal or summon a demon. It's wild, the name has basically become football's version of he who must not be named. Reporters tiptoe around it like it's radioactive, and the whole city feels one whispered syllable away from DEFCON 1.
He's pretty much adamant about sticking with Dillion Gabriel. He did not say anything bad about Kevin Stefanski, which we already know he probably wasn't going to do that. But to me, this is just my own personal opinion. I truly believe that there's some type of agenda against Tommy Rees, Kevin Stefanski, all the damn coach staff and shit.
Off of that field and how the game ends. And look, as a play caller, there's always things you want back. Felt like we put our guys in position to have success throughout the game, and then when you do that and you don't have success, you always look.
At this point, you'd swear that if anyone dared to say Shedeur inside the building, alarms would start blaring, red lights would start spinning, and the sprinkler system would dump holy water from the ceiling. Security would appear like they teleported in from a secret basement level and whisked the offender into a padded, soundproof interrogation pod. The coaching staff doesn't treat Shedeur like a quarterback, they treat him like a mythical creature somebody's cousin swears they saw once behind a gas station at 2 a.m. He's less player on the roster and more localized folklore passed down at family barbecues.
Calls that you make that the defense, won the rep. That happens in football throughout a game, and then there's a couple of plays there that you say didn't put our guys in the right position, and those are the ones as a play caller that eat at you. But definitely felt like trending in the right direction. Some of the things that we wanted to emphasize without going into too much detail schematically, we got done, and we got to build off that and start winning some. You talk about a play call you want back, you start there. Had a lot of confidence in the call on third down that we'd pick up the first. Felt like we maybe lost a yard there, and look, in hindsight, you want to execute those situations.
And now there's Tommy Rees, somehow making the whole situation even stranger. He gets full control of the play calling, like that's the magic solution, and what do we get? The same sputtering offense. The same confusion. The same why on earth was that the call, reactions.
He's not a developmental quarterback right now. He's a quarterback who's hit the wall, right? You have your picture painted of who Dillion Gabriel is because he has done nothing but go backwards since that first game.
That's right.
He is overmatched, and the numbers say that, and the eye test says it, and the reality says that he always was. But they put him out here, they rushed him in, they didn't do him any favors. They're not doing him any favors with this receiving core. But it's very clear, he is not going to be an NFL quarterback. And that has been the case since the spring.
It's like slapping new paint on a beat-up car and bragging you rebuilt the engine, it just looks nicer when it breaks down. But Rees is locked in, Dillion Gabriel is his guy, no matter what chaos erupts around him. Then came the masterpiece of bad decisions, 4th and 1, the whole city tense, the obvious call screaming to be made, and instead we get a pass that felt like an apology to the defense. Meanwhile, Cleveland has a fullback who blocks like he runs on caffeine and raw emotion, and every time he's on the field something good happens, which is precisely why he wasn't used in the biggest short yardage moment. Because who needs logic when you can run a rookie QB experiment and hope the football gods are in a generous mood? At this point, Cleveland fans just want consistency, use what works, stop using what doesn't, and maybe retire the chaos plays permanently.
I think had Tommy Rees not been so stubborn about trying to get his guy in, they could have given Jalen Milroe confidence earlier, and I think they probably would have beaten Texas.
Yeah, it's a great point because look, everybody knows in the portal games, if you bring in the offensive coordinator from Notre Dame and he had a guy that he thought was successful, Tyler Buckner, with him at Notre Dame, then you're going to give that a shot, just even give your team a shot in the arm. But neither here nor there, that's not going to happen, and Buckner's probably never going to see the field again at Alabama.
Sure, the league is full of defensive monsters. Pressure is part of the deal. But in Cleveland, pressure doesn't just show up, it gets a personal invitation. The quarterback isn't just rushed, he's pursued like he's starring in a wildlife chase scene. Half the time it feels like the coaches accidentally mailed every opponent a note that reads, "Blitz us as much as possible, sincerely, Cleveland." Every snap looks like someone tripped the emergency alarm on the offensive line and froze instead of typing in the reset code. And then there's Dillion, the headline act, the rollout machine. That's not strategy, that's stubborn hope wearing a disguise. Now compare that to Shedeur. Or actually, don't, because Cleveland certainly doesn't. Watching them sidestep his name is a spectacle. It's like they think saying Shedeur 3 times will make him materialize on the field against their will. He's not mentioned, not acknowledged, not even indirectly brushed against.
Not graded because we want to see Shedeur. Let's grade it fairly. That's all I'm saying.
I graded it fairly.
Like, you said I want him to play bad so Shedeur can get
I do, but some teachers might want this kid to do bad, but when he turned that test in, she just got to grade that.
I believe Shedeur's better as well, but if we're going to grade, stop grading with bias.
All right, grading without bias.
He's not even acknowledged by accident. It's like the coaching staff signed paperwork promising to pretend there's a mysterious blank space beneath QB1. You could hold up a life-size poster of Shedeur in the press room and they'd compliment the poster frame, the lighting, the wall color, anything to avoid addressing the actual player on it. And the best part? Everyone already knows how this story ends. The pressure keeps climbing. Every loss cracks the door open a little more. Every baffling decision pushes fans closer to full revolt. Eventually someone, a coach, an exec, someone with real authority, is going to say it. Not imply it, not dance around it. Say it outright, Shedeur. If Dillion keeps struggling, if the games keep slipping, if the fan base gets louder, the weight becomes impossible to dodge. The forbidden name gets spoken. Shedeur stops being folklore and becomes the quarterback. And when that happens, Cleveland fans will do 2 things at once: erupt with joy like they hit the jackpot and immediately freak out because the expectations will go through the roof. That's the cycled drama today, hope tomorrow, panic next week, all the way to the playoffs.
Browns coach Kevin Stefanski isn't ready to make a change at quarterback just yet. When asked by reporters if he planned to stick with rookie Dillion Gabriel as the team's starting quarterback, Stefanski asserted Gabriel will remain at the helm. After the loss to the Jets, Gabriel has thrown 869 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in his rookie season. He led Cleveland to just 1 win, with the game October 19th against the Dolphins, and they are now 2-7 on the year.
But until that moment finally hits, the mystery rolls on. The strange refusal to acknowledge Shedeur. The endless rollout escapades. The 4th and 1 decisions that land somewhere between boldness and an energy drink overdose. And Tommy Rees, absolutely convinced the arrow is pointing up even when the scoreboard is handing out contradictory evidence. Cleveland's season isn't bad football, it's premium programming. It's entertainment wrapped in chaos, comedy dressed as competition. It's reality TV disguised as game planning. You tune in not just for touchdowns, but for plot twists, character development, sideline meltdowns, and post-game explanations that feel like sworn testimony. Dillion keeps rolling, Tommy keeps defending, the offense keeps experimenting, and Shedeur lingers in the background like a Marvel villain awaiting his origin story. Cleveland isn't playing a season, they're producing a series. And we're all watching weekly, because however it ends, it's guaranteed to be unforgettable.
The league decided it didn't like how Shedeur interviewed. He said some things he should not have said, and he will tell you that to this day. I got a little carried away. But he's as tough a kid, tough a quarterback as I've ever seen. His arm is at least as good as Brady's. It's Brady-esque.
You guys act like a fifth-round pick is a punishment.
Okay.
It's not. It's an opportunity. I've never seen anybody talk this much about a fifth-round pick, ever.
Because he's not a real fifth-round pick. That show you right there. I wish we could have the owners here and, you know what I'm saying, get them real liquored up.
And speaking of unforgettable, we have to talk about this offense's relationship with adversity, because at this point, it's straight up comedic. Every team runs into challenges. Good teams adjust. Bad teams crumble. Cleveland? They treat adversity like a spiritual awakening. One bad play happens, and suddenly the entire offense collectively questions its existence. A dropped pass turns into 3 possessions of everyone acting like they'd never seen a football before. It's a slow-motion domino effect set to a dramatic violin soundtrack. You can dodge Shedeur's name, ignore the chatter, and put Dillion in the spotlight every week, but everyone knows the pivot point is coming. They're not hiding a secret, they're just stretching out the plot twist.
Shedeur is way better than Dillion Gabriel. He just is. If Shedeur had started from the start, game 1 against Cincinnati at home, they would be the talk of the NFL right now, because I look at the fourth quarter yesterday, they go 0 for 4 on 3rd down because Dillion was playing not to lose. Don't throw it to them, don't put it on the ground. And he did a great job of that. But on one of those 3rd downs, you have to try to make a play to win the football game. And trust me, no matter what Stefanski called, Shedeur would try to win the football game because it's how he was raised. You're going to make a play because you were born to make a...
Eventually, some national analyst will mention Shedeur on live TV, and the Browns media team will instantly clutch their stomachs. Eventually, fans in the stands will chant the forbidden name. Eventually, a veteran in the locker room will get fed up and drop a cryptic comment that everyone knows is about him. Now imagine the day Shedeur finally jogs into the huddle, cameras zoom in, the stadium roars, Twitter melts down, and suddenly the team looks alive. Players block like their careers depend on it. And here's the comedy gold, the coaching staff's uncanny talent for contradicting themselves without actually contradicting themselves. They'll passionately defend Dillion and the offense, insisting everything is running perfectly, and in the very same breath casually acknowledge the mistakes, pressure, execution gaps, turnovers, and questionable calls, all without ever admitting that anything is actually wrong.
Even when they come and say things about Shedeur Sanders, all you have to do is say, look, I get it. Shedeur has a very, big personality and he's known globally, right? But I know Shedeur Sanders as a person, and as what I see here. He works hard, he's intelligent, he puts the work in, he's humble, he's a great teammate, and all of those things, I hope you guys get an opportunity to see that eventually when he gets on the field. And guess what? It would diffuse all bad articles and people would go away.
It's like a restaurant review saying the food is simultaneously excellent and in need of major improvement, depending on which sentence you read. Somehow, everything is fine and not fine at the same time. But Rees isn't entirely the villain here. He's under immense pressure, managing a young quarterback, and trying to forge offensive chemistry that naturally takes time. He's also proving he deserves the responsibility that was just handed to him. Nobody wants their first big opportunity tied to a struggling team. Win, and he's a genius. Lose, and he'll be handed a box and an exit plan before he can even lock his office door. Meanwhile, Shedeur sits back, watching, learning, waiting. Whether the coaches like it or not, time is on his side. If losses mount, excuses vanish. If wins come, it doesn't matter, eventually the investment in Shedeur must pay off. First-round quarterbacks aren't drafted to sit on the shelf. The league follows the money, the hype, the talent, and ultimately, the future.
They drafted Shedeur Sanders. They are unwilling, clearly, to allow Shedeur Sanders to man the offense in a real NFL game. Kevin Stefanski was asked about it, and he said, I'm not concentrating on the current development of Shedeur Sanders. I'm worried about what we're worried about. I'm now convinced that we need to do a deeper dive investigation into why they are so reluctant to give the kid a shot. I don't know that it's going to be any good. I think there's as good a chance that he stinks as that he's decent. I don't know.
Right now, the future takes a backseat, survival is the priority. But survival only buys time, and in the NFL, time always runs out. Fans don't care about long-term development when short-term losses sting. Owners don't care about philosophical patience when the stadium grows quiet and jersey sales stall. Cleveland is heading toward one of two endings. Ending 2, the offense stays mediocre, the scoreboard grows painful, the playoffs drift away like a helium balloon, and someone finally presses the big red button, the forbidden name. The moment it's said, everything shifts. Tommy Rees has to stand at the podium and pretend this was all part of the plan, even though the city knows otherwise. And here's the kicker, even if Shedeur thrives and becomes the franchise, the memory of this bizarre silent treatment will endure. 20 years from now, Cleveland fans will still tell stories about the era when the coaches used every noun imaginable except the one they actually needed. The means alone will survive generations. And if Shedeur finally takes the field and dominates? If he becomes the face of the team, the quarterback who pulls Cleveland out of its spiral? The shift from "we don't say his name" to "we always believed in him" will go down as the smoothest pivot in NFL history. Suddenly, he wasn't benched, he was being developed. One thing is clear, this storyline will be talked about for years. The loyalty to Dillion. The avoidance of Shedeur. The infamous 4th and 1. The endless rollouts. The emotional highs and lows. The denial. The chaos. The future is coming, whether anyone likes it or not. Cleveland hasn't just built a season, they've built a saga, a meme factory, a documentary in the making, a highlight reel of moments nobody asked for but everyone can't stop watching. And the best part? The season is just getting started. The plot will keep twisting, the drama will keep heating up, and the name they've been pretending not to know may soon be the loudest in the stadium. The episode isn't over. There's always another Sunday. And somewhere on the sideline, Shedeur is waiting.